Bring that beat back. Ain't gonna bring the beat back. Okay. That ain't that one. No, how y'all doing? What's going on? We will be reading a little bit. So, give me 1 second. We just don't go with the classic. How are y'all doing? Appreciate it. I don't know if this is probably going to do both a video and a live. I'm feeling risky, especially if this alone. I'm going to try and break this down into segments. Because I've been, of course, on YouTube watching the brothers and talk about the presidency. You know, my thing with politics is that they all are local. Like, I think local politics, I won't say inevitably leads to the presidency, but it's definitely on the road. And, you know, local politics and state politics are the cogs in that kind of clock. And the clock is, the big hands are the presidency. You know, technically, yada, yada. But that's how I look at it. So I've been trying to figure out a way to, I won't say communicate with this about the presidency. And not saying that it's not important, it is highly important, but I think especially this is a great time for a Black man to get involved in politics. I kind of got an old video talking about why didn't Barack Obama make politics cool to Black people, Black men, but don't worry about that. I might drop that in the comments or something like that. But it made me think, like, I think the one question that Black men haven't asked is, what party do you do better under? Is it Republicans or is it Democrats? You know, with Google, you can almost find out anything just like those. So I decided to look at it. I found a couple of things. Maybe I should share it with you guys, right? I definitely will be dropping this in the chat. Let me bring it up real quick. You really can't see it, but I'll read a little bit, and I'll definitely be dropping it in the chat once we get it going. Okay, guys? But this is scholars.org. Let's check out the page real quick. Maybe I should just make that the full layout so you guys can see it. Would you be able to see? Let's see real quick. You can see it a little bit better, so we'll do it that way. Now, this was my question. Like, under, you know, Republicans and Democrats, who does better? Is it who do we benefit better on? And it says, this one is from the Scholar Strategies Network. This was done in 2012, of course, but I think it correlates, especially with Donald Trump and Obama being the former vice presidents, and how Obama inherited the housing crisis and the economic crisis from Bush, and what Trump inherited from Obama and what Biden inherited for Trump. I think so. It kind of correlates with this, you know. But let's read a little bit into it. Now it says, minorities are suddenly in front and center in debates about the future of U.S. electoral politics. In November 2012, Blacks and Latinos supported President Obama and other Democrats by overwhelming margins, leaving Republicans anxious to find better ways to woo minority voters. Many GOP analysts call for a new economic appeals, but which party really has the better economic case to make? Using data from the U.S. Census to track annual changes in income, poverty, and unemployment over the past 5 decades, we asked how each of Americans' major ethnic groups have fared under Democrat or Republican presidents. Our findings are striking. When Republicans are in the White House, minorities generally lose, but Democrat presidents have presided over steady and sustainable improvements for communities of color as the nation and the nation as a whole. So it's literally saying that that Black people do better under Democratic presidents. Just off of that. Now, this is like you said. I'm gonna drop it in the chat, and these are the authors of it. Zoltan. I'm gonna just say Zoltan and Jeremy. The professors, I assume. So yeah, but let's read a little bit more. Economic outcomes clearly diverge under Democratic versus Republican presidents, especially for African Americans. Under Democrat presidents, Black families' income grew on an average of $895 annually, but grew only by $142 under Republicans. The Black unemployment rate fell by a net 7.9 percentage points across the 26 years of Democratic leadership, but went up by net 13.7 points during 28 years of Republican presidencies. Across the years of Democratic leadership, Black poverty declined by a net of 23.6%, but grew by 3 points when Republicans held the White House. Although data on Latins and Asians do not go back as far as time, are similar for Latins, Democratic presidents also associated with large annual gains in income, substantial declines in poverty, and real drops in unemployment, while Republican administrations, Latinos tend to lose income, become poor, and experience greater unemployment. Latino income grew on an average of $627 annually under Democrats, but declined by an average of $197 annually under Republicans. Less consistent data for Asian Americans are also sudden gains under Democrats versus stagnant under Republicans. Tellingly, white Americans make gains under Democrats too. On average, under Democratic administrations, white incomes have grown and white joblessness and poverty has declined. Now, they also ask, like all local signs, like trends in the U.S. well-being, controlling for inflation and charges in the gross national product, and considering other factors like oil prices and the proportion of adults in the workforce, we find similarly large gains for minorities under Democrats and equal sharp losses under Republicans. The partisan trends are remarkably consistent over many years. Black income grew in 77% of the years that Democrats held the presidency. Black poverty declined in 88% of those years, and Black unemployment fell in 71% of those years. In sharp contrast, Blacks more often than not lost under Republican administration. And the last one, the longer Democratic administrations are in office, the more that they appear to be able to help African Americans and other minorities experience economical gains, while the longer Republican administrations are held in office, the more the fortunes of those groups suffer. It is not just that Democrats inherit good economies and Republicans are bequeathed bad economies. Everything points to a real and substantial partisan divergence. Why do Democrats? But see, you can read further into it. We definitely gonna drop this in the chat. Many different policies intended to boost these incomes and employment for poor or low income Americans could certainly play a role. Example ranging from President Lyndon Johnson's war on poverty to President Clinton's expansion on the earned income tax credit, which gives low income working people tax refund checks. Radically targeting officers in the civil rights or more recent initiative to expand affirmative action in government hiring can also be on minorities' economic fortunes. Okay. So yeah, I just want to share that with y'all, brothers. Like, look it up for yourself. But we definitely gonna be dropping it here in the chat. We're just gonna make this a video a little bit. But I think you guys need to, check it out. Just Google who makes more under what political party. Okay. But we'll drop it in into play with it. Peace, y'all.